That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That, of course, is Anthony Melchiori. I am still Glenn Hausman, but every day hoping that will change. Anthony Melchiori, how are you, my friend?
I got to tell you something, my friend. It is good to see you.
It's good to see you. I missed you last week. I don't know what's going on with our cameras. I've been having the same malady. Sorry, people listening on the audio feed, but our camera's been acting a little weird. You got to do this thing where you put your hand in front of it in order to make it seem less fuzzy. But it's great to see you. It's great to be back. Now, I know we've got a great story about what you've been up to this week. But before we get into that, I just want to say real quick, hey, guys, remember, work with Radisson Hotels America, which is now part of the Choice Hotels family. That's right. Those who already have your investment in Radisson can now rest secured being with the Choice Hotels family. Look into them. If you're not a member yet of their family, invest in hotels from all the Choice different brands, including ones that just came over, including Radisson Red, Radisson Blue, Country Inn and Suites, and more. Reach out to the development team over there. Anthony, I missed you yesterday, but you had a good excuse, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I'll talk more about it maybe on a day where we don't have like a really great, well, when we don't have a guest. We all
right.
Yeah. We have a very special guest today that I'm excited to talk to. And I didn't realize he was going to be on until like 3 minutes ago. So I'm really excited.
Yeah.
But I was invited, to talk to the Air Force Sergeant Association.
Right.
So I went down to San Antonio, and there's 3,000 people, including the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force.
Wow.
So just to who that person is, she is in charge of all non-commissioned officers in the United States Air Force, 600,000 of them.
Wow.
So she is amazing, a premier leader, and it was a pleasure to share a stage with her and for her to be in the audience. And I was able to talk my truth of how the United States Air Force saved my life. So I got to do an hour presentation, and it was the greatest moment of my professional career.
That
to be
is
able to
incredible.
go in there and show where I went, where I was, and then where the Air Force helped me go to. It was, you know me, I always try to hide. I literally spoke to people from 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, you even met up with a good listener of the show who is deployed overseas, Chad, right? And here's
actually Chad, yeah. And then,
this is the best picture for those of you listening. You've got all of the military officers there from the Air Force surrounding Anthony. Who's the first time I've ever seen you smile in a picture, dude?
Well, that is the United States Air Force Honor Guard. So that is the honor guard you see at the White House, you see at the Super Bowl. These are the guys that travel all over the world, and they do honor guard stuff. And there's a video I'll show you another day where they're throwing they're throwing it, and it's amazing. But I used to be in charge of the honor guard on my base. So every base has an honor guard. So if a retired person, go back to that, please. If
sorry, I was going to bring up a different picture, but yes, you got it. Coming right up.
If a retired person passes away, or there's some kind of ceremony, the base sends the honor guard. Okay.
Yep.
I wanted to be an honor guard for official honor guard for the United States Air Force. So I applied. Why don't you think I was able to be an honor guard for the United States Air Force?
I'm gonna go with the obvious. You were way too cool for them. I see nothing. Hey, listen, I would normally say you're head and shoulders above the rest, but in this case, I'm not so sure.
My head is literally at the shoulder of those two gentlemen. So apparently,
the truth of the matter is, everybody, he's really standing 15 feet behind everybody. He just doesn't want to make them feel bad.
I had a height problem. But I asked the Chief Master Sergeant Air Force, who we're going to have on, and we're also going to have the Chief Master Sergeant of the Honor Guard on, because they have incredible stories.
Yep.
And I asked her in the morning if I could take a picture, and I was kind of like real humble, like, can I take a picture? Because later in the day. So then I get on stage. She didn't realize who I was. I did my thing, and then she's like, me and her, oh, look at that. Now that's the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. She is the highest ranking non-commissioned officer in the entire United States Air Force. standing next to her. I asked her a question. She jumped on stage. It was amazing. And now imagine, I have a video of all those 3,000 people standing and giving me a standing ovation. It was the coolest thing. I've been on stage plenty of times, but it was just listen, we're very well protected. We have the best of the best of the best protecting us.
Yep. That's awesome.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. What an honor for you for such a day, and absolutely well-deserved. And as I said privately, Anthony, I'm really proud of you. That is really awesome.
Thank you, sir. It was, I've never, sometimes I suffer with stage fright. I've never been more comfortable in my entire, I jumped on that stage, man. And I was like, it was like I was sitting in my backyard.
That's awesome. All right. So let's move to the subject today. Everybody, we talk to all of the top executives every day in hospitality, but we don't spend enough time talking to those that are getting people to travel. And Anthony, today is a real special treat for me. And I think for you too, because I didn't even know you could travel. I didn't even understand how travel worked, but I used to watch channels like WPIX 11, and I'd see commercials for Perillo Tours, and it made me want to go to places like Italy. And today we have from Perillo Tours. How cool is this? President and owner, Steve Perillo, third generation Perillo. How are you, sir?
Good. Thank you for having me.
This is so awesome. Thank you for being here.
I love the Air Force story. And you're a pilot, obviously.
No, I had a very dangerous job, 10 times more dangerous than being a pilot. They only select very, very few people for my job. I'll tell you, but you can't tell anybody else. I was a protocol officer, so I poured coffee for generals and pilots. But when people laugh at that, but like that coffee was hot, so if I spilled it, I would burn myself. I was colorblind. I went in to be a pilot, but they said you're colorblind, so it didn't work out.
I just assumed that everyone had the chance to learn, I would think, right?
No, there's only 1% of the entire force that actually flies planes. Everybody else supports them. So we have missiles, we have planes, we have all kinds of special operations. But basically, the force is there to support the missiles and to support the planes. And so most of the people are in support roles. But I will tell you something that is really incredibly important. The force is in good shape. Meeting those young people and even the older generation, they are one. It's not like back in the civilian world where the young people and the older people like are not seeing eye to eye. I mean, the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force has been for 27 years, I think she said. She has a podcast. She does Instagram. She actually told me, make sure this is on social media. She talks to her troop the way they listen, and she gets it on every single level. And everybody I met that is in a command position in the Pentagon from the Air Force felt like they had a 12-year-old soul. They are engaged, and everybody is just completely blessed to wear the uniform, and it was just an amazing day for me.
How cool is that?
And another thing that was shocking, was not shocking but beautiful, was the diversity. When I was a kid in the Air Force, every Chief Master Sergeant was a white old guy. Now I don't think I saw one white old guy being Chief Master Sergeant. It was all diversity, females,
Did you look in
minorities.
the mirror, Anthony?
It was absolutely beautiful. And it was just, like I said, for me to say I had a great career. So for me to say it was singularly the best day of my career, it says a lot.
What a change. In 50 years, we went from all masculine, thousands and thousands of years of all men military. It took our generation to figure we should be proud of this.
Yeah.
We did this.
There's a young lady who's the Chief Master Sergeant in charge of the Honor Guard. We're going to have her on the show. So when people were standing and taking pictures with me, I asked them, what resonated with you on stage and what's your story? Well, she told me her story. It took me, and Glenn knows I'm an emotional guy. It took me a few minutes to recover. I was like, this woman is a Chief Master Sergeant. She's got 4 children, travels the world, is in charge of the elitist of the elite, and her story should have killed most people.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so there's a lot of beauty in the military.
I want to sign up.
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of beauty, here comes a complicated segue. Italy is absolutely gorgeous. And one of the things that was cool is your father, Mario, I think was just like I said in the introduction, classic commercials here in New York City. He he is equal to Crazy Eddie in my eyes about being constantly there, an important piece of my childhood. And like I said, it really opened my eyes to travel. We're going to show a classic ad in just a minute, but before we do that, the fact that your grandfather Joseph started this company in 1945 is absolutely incredible to me, because you didn't just hop on a flight at JFK and fly over to Italy. How did all of this come to be? And also, if we were against Italy in World War II, how quickly did that change? That made it easy for you all to go.
Oh, all right. So yeah, there's a whole huge story. We could go for hours on this. They came over in 26. My grandfather came over in 26.
Yep, and that's 1926. Everyone.
1926.
Yep.
He paved the way. He got a job at a bank, Bank of America, founded by Italians in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And I have all the letters. My grandmother saying, "When are you going to send for me? When are you going to send for me?" And the kid, Elio, the firstborn. And she was accusing him of fooling around, having a mistress. He wouldn't send. But finally, 2 years later, she came over. He worked in the bank. And I think everyone, May 45, the minute that Hitler assassination, that was like April 30th. The next day, so many businesses started. Everyone was ready to start right there. And he started on May 1st, 1945.
Right. Wow. So
that was the trend.
Yeah, so basically it was just like a cleansing of the war, and it was kind of in that particular time period. There was no negative onus about traveling over there. So how did it actually work?
Well, the first services were to help because we were in the Bronx in Little Italy by Arthur Avenue. So that's where he had his first office. And the first services, and you can see it in the window. I can send you a picture. Flour, $4.75 a kilo, whatever it was, and you could send provisions to the war-torn Italy people. Also, he would help with the land problems. Everyone had property in Italy and came to the United States. So he was doing, because he was a lawyer in Naples. He had graduated from the law school, which he couldn't use in the States. So we started this travel business, which was a lot of different services. And my uncles all became attorneys.
Right.
They all went into the travel business too, eventually. And it ended up all with my dad. But it was all steamship tickets, in the 40s, 50s. Really exciting way to travel in those days. If you could do a transatlantic cruise, do it. It's a great, it's not just you're really going somewhere, and you're traveling fast, and the ocean's, rocking you back and forth. 5 days crossing. It's a great experience. In fact, we're going to sell one in the spring.
Here's a picture of my wife's Nana, who lived to 97, all dolled up, waving to all the people on the dock. Because back in the day, when you went on a cruise ship, there was a party before you left, and everybody was dressed high, beautiful gowns and fur coats, and that picture really just is kind of stamped in my brain.
Well, we had parties in the cabin. Before you left, everyone came into your cabin and had champagne, and then they tooted the horn, and you had to leave. And
then, like in Love Boat, everybody waved and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, there were streamers, the whole works. Streamers, because it was a big deal. 5, 6, 7 days at sea. You never know what's going to happen out there.
So, what was the moment? Because I'm a big marketing PR guy. What was the moment that someone, whether your father or somebody else, said, "Let's do a TV commercial"? Because that really revolutionized, I would imagine, your business.
Because we're the only tour operator anyone's ever heard of. I think it's still true, and they were, much bigger. Yeah. Ever heard of
you? But this company is American iconic kind of it's built into our DNA.
Yeah, but we're small. We're small, relatively small, so that's why it's amazing.
Yeah.
But my grandfather started on the radio, so he started it. We have this thing called Chi viaggia con Perillo, viaggia tranquillo. If you travel with Perillo, you travel tranquilly. It's the only word that rhymes with Perillo, and it's in Italian.
I would work. You could work in armadillo in there somewhere.
Or Brillo. What was I talking about?
About how the commercial started.
The radio was great. You know, we have a whole channel called Travel Agents, which is a very powerful channel for us still to today. You know, half our business goes through travel agents, and I recommend them heartily. Because the computer, you know, they're not going to come to your defense when you're locked out of a hotel. The computer, you know, Expedia is good, but they're not going to, you can't call up Expedia and say.
No, you could call them. They don't necessarily.
You can call your travel agent. Your travel agent can do something. That's half our channel. And but then we thought advertising on our own would help the travel agent community too, because all the customers go to travel agents and say, I want a Perillo tour. At least they heard of us. And then I guess the TV thing, you'd have to be there, Anthony. In 1978, when my father did the first local PIX in New York, you know, it started small, and then it became national. With cable, it became easy to do national. But here's a big moment in our careers. The pandemic has changed so many lives. We had to go off of television for 2 years. We're not on the same rate as we were in the 90s, but it's still driving us, the television. 2 years ago, we stopped completely, and we have not returned.
Right.
We may never return. I don't know.
Well, that's a whole discussion about you know, whether or not people want to watch broadcast TV, cable TV, or do streaming. Maybe advertising on YouTube or something like that might work for you. But Anthony, you were going to say something. I'd like to show the ad when we have a chance.
Make sure I get your contact information, because there's an opportunity. I do a show called 5-Star Secrets, where we go around the world and we show the best of the best of the best. Kind of like what they did on CNN. We've done that for several years, and we're doing another season. And I'd love to be able to somehow incorporate you into that and get your thoughts on it. So just make sure I get your information.
I will.
Just type it into the private chat box.
Yeah, in chat. Okay. So I'm sorry.
All right. So let's take a look at these ads that helped awaken me to the joy of travel and understanding that you could go somewhere else in the world that you didn't understand, that you didn't know, but do it safely and have a good time.
I'm Mario Perillo, Mr. Italy for Perillo Tours in Alitalia. This is our 50th year. Time sure flies. Isn't it time you said, okay, Mario, andiamo in Italia. Let's go to Italy. Timeless, romantic, exhilarating. Let Mario escort you from the Alps to Sicily. First class or deluxe, 1 week or two. Perillo takes care of everything. For Perillo's 50th anniversary brochure, see your travel agent or call 1-800-255-5000 now.
I wish you could have found something from the 80s, but I did like that one.
There is something. I grew up without a dad, right? So my father's from Civitavecchia. So I went to Civitavecchia about 15 years ago to meet my family. It was the first time I had my Italian roots and really felt deep. Matter of fact, my daughter, when she got off the plane the second time I went back, I brought my family, and she started to cry. And I said, why are you crying? She goes, because everybody looks like me. Because I live in an area where everybody's blonde and blue-eyed. And she said, she started crying because she always felt insecure because she was dark hair and dark complexion. And so we really had this feeling once we connected to Italy. But growing up, I didn't really have a connection to Italy. And until I saw that commercial again, I remember looking at your father. It was like, it reminded me of my family and my father. And like, I had to get my reconnection. So there was something about him that really resonated, not with everybody, but I would imagine with Italians. Like, he really resonated with me.
Yeah. And my father's a second generation. He's not off the boat. He doesn't have an Italian accent, but he had a certain magic. My father has a magic I don't have. I know about charisma and how it can help in business and help in your life. And he had it, and I don't. Well, help me out here. Don't most people with charisma don't feel like they have it, right? They don't believe they have, or do they?
Well,
I would say most people in Hollywood believe they do.
People say to me all the time, Anthony, you're a great salesperson. I'm like, what are you talking about? You can sell ice scores. I said, I can't sell anything. So apparently people think I have it, and I have that for TV. But you have it, because if not, you wouldn't be successful. But the great thing is you're not trying to compete with your dad, because a lot of people in your position try to compete or try to level up. And sometimes that becomes a problem. You're just trying to be your own person, it seems.
No, I'm trying to outdo my father. Absolutely crazy. At least financially, I want to
We're
try.
not trying to be your father, is what my point being.
No, and I can't play his game, but yeah, Anthony, you have charisma. Glenn, you have the second most, and I have the least. But Anthony really has. Well, you have the Yul Brynner thing, but Yul Brynner had he had. It's the same charisma. It's Yul Brynner. You could be the king of Siam, or whatever he was.
But so what was it like growing up? Like everywhere you went, everybody knew your last name, and everybody like you were a rock star. How was that?
A little bit. You're exaggerating a little, but it's fun. It's fun in the right dose because imagine if you're Brad Pitt or everywhere it'd be impossible to do anything. So this middle level is fun to be recognized. I've signed a few autographs. You've signed a lot, Anthony.
Yeah, it's good for dinner reservations.
Yeah. And I want your autograph, Glenn, for sure.
Yeah, well, they're highly collectible right now. They're selling for 0.0001 cents right now on eBay. Get yours now. I can't wait for it.
So my friend Luca owns a travel business in Rome. Does a lot of tours. He's the best there is. He's got like 12 cars out there, and I was there. He's been on our show, and I was there in the beginning with him when Italy shut down, and I remember him being in the square saying, "Come to Italy," and I'm like, "Dude, stop saying that. It's like they're about to shut down the world. You can't stop saying that." And he stopped saying it, and they shut down Italy, and they shut down the world. And then a couple months ago, I spoke to him, or a couple weeks ago. I said, "How are things?" And he can't even return my phone calls. He's so busy.
That's awesome.
What did he say? I missed you at the end, Anthony.
I said he's so busy he can't even return my phone call.
Yeah, things are going back to the story of us getting off of television. We wanted to see how much of the inertia would move. There's my hand. How much of the 75 years of inertia would move the business with zero advertising? We didn't really do zero. We bought the keywords on Google and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
You have to do a little bit of that. And it took us, we lost about half. This is all I'm very forthcoming about my business because I'm fine in life. I don't
we all suffered greatly starting in March 2020.
Yeah. But so those years were a complete blowout. Imagine we've had very bad years, 9/11, the Great Recession. We had a problem in the 80s with the Red Brigade. We're shooting up the airport in Rome. But the
pandemic has really been the killer.
I've never seen a zero. So believe it or not, the U.S. government helped us tremendously. I think it's true for a lot of. I don't know how we're ever going to pay this back, but we got millions of dollars from the government. It was really unbelievable. I got another check called Employee Retention Act.
I heard something about that. You could get up to $26,000 per employee, according to the ads I've been hearing on satellite radio.
I just got another check yesterday. I got another $25,000 check for some. I have no idea what.
Hey, guess who's going to Italy?
No, but it helped you retain your staff and helped you maintain your business.
Yeah. And then when the year came back, this year was going to be the first big year, and we decided not to go back on television, just see where it would take us.
Right.
And we got about half our normal customers, but I spent 1/10 of the money to get the half of customers. So I think we're going to end up with a very profitable year.
That's great.
And we have to decide where we're going to go. I like television because you plant an idea. People who, they're not searching for Italy online. They just plant an idea. Oh, let's go to Italy. But online, they're already searching for it. So you're not really influencing.
Do you have a big social media presence?
It's pretty good. We're trying. We have 36,000 on Facebook. It grows about 1,000 a year. There's tricks to get it to go to 100,000. You run raffles and stuff like that. But we like real. We don't like those kind of fake numbers.
Are you guys on TikTok or Instagram or?
No. We feel like that's. We don't. I mean, who wants to be on all these platforms? It's so much. It's. It's fun to watch. I love TikTok, man. For an old guy like me. But for our audience, for group tours, travel to foreign countries, it's an older market. Our average age is 55, 60. So they're not on TikTok.
No, they're not. But I'm curious as to what are these folks looking for? We've been through a lot over the last few years, and this past summer has been kind of like, hey, let it all go, let our hair hang out, to use a cliched phrase there. But is that what your customers are looking for? Are they still concerned about some being protected while they're overseas now, even though I know you guys require vaccinations, or Italy requires vaccinations? That's
the vaccinations, it's pretty much, the whole thing is over, thank God.
Yeah.
I just want to say that the whole thing, there's masks on public transportation in Italy. You still have to wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. It's over. No one's really talking about it that much.
Excellent.
There's monkeypox, so thank God it's over. But during the time this year, you had to be vaccinated. You had to wear a mask on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
People weren't happy. They cheated. We let them cheat. We were cheating with them.
Right.
All the rest of the stuff, the cards. We never looked at a card. But if you went into a church or a museum, they'd say this old Italian guy would be sitting on a stool, say, "Let me see your card. Let me see." And he'd look at it. He wouldn't know what he was looking at. He said, "Okay, okay."
We showed him a Babe Ruth card. Look. So people probably asked you this question before a million times, but I got to ask you. You have one trip, and you have 3 days, and it's the last time you'll ever visit Italy. Where are you going?
Oh boy.
Yeah, indeed.
You'd probably go to Rome. You're not going to go to Florence or Venice. You have to go to Rome. Rome is endless. And Rome, it doesn't hit you as the greatest thing at first time, like Venice does the first time. What the hell is this? It's like Disneyland. And Florence is just ridiculously evil. So there's not a new building, from the last.
I love that.
The last 200 years, there's not a new building. Of course, there's new buildings, but you don't see them.
Right.
But Rome is so deep. Every corner has a story that goes back, a story from 200 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, pre-2,000 years ago. And the stuff that happened in that town is just crazy. What Rome was to the world, like us times 10. And that was the city, that was the headquarters. And it's still, a lot of it's still hanging around there.
Yeah.
These rocks, they last indefinitely, it seems.
I didn't really do a lot of studying about Rome when I was younger. And when I went to Rome, my driver and interpreter, and Luca he saw my show, so when he found out I was coming, he was a big fan, and he drove me himself, and we became friends. And he was so close that when he came to my family's house that I've never met before, he's doing the interpreting. He's arguing with my family. I was like, "Dude, stop arguing with my family." He goes, "No, he's stupid." I was like, "All right, this is an Italian family." But he brought me to, and forgive me, I don't remember, that little keyhole that you can see everything. What is that called?
It's at the embassy, the Maltese embassy. Yeah, it's got a keyhole, and you see the Vatican perfectly in the keyhole.
So he says, I'm going to show you something that's not on most people's tours, but I'm going to show you something. And the word out of your mouth is going to be 3 letters. And I look in the key, and I look, and I see the Vatican, and I look at him, I go, "Wow." He goes, "That's the word." It was insane. I'll never, that was a moment. I said top 10 moments, surprise moments. Have you ever seen that, Glenn?
No, I had no idea that even existed.
Yeah, it was, and like it looks like it's this big. It's not like you're looking for a keyhole. There's something magical about it that it really looks like you have both eyes open and you're looking at the whole thing. It's really insane.
Well, sadly, my experience in Italy is limited to a dinner I had in Italy once. That is it. That is really unfortunate. I need to get over there. It's one of my dream places to get going. But Steve, before the pandemic, in places like Amsterdam, in places like Venice in particular, the issue of over tourism really started to be very predominant. Airbnbs were essentially taking over all of Venice and changing the nature and character of the area. I thought that went away. That's coming back now. How do you approach those ideas of over tourism, and how does it affect what you're doing at Perillo Tours to make sure your customers get the best experience. Don't have to deal with a lot of that crap.
Yeah, I mean, it's very selfish. I've been there a million times. I've seen it. You know, most people can't afford to stay in the hotels in Venice, so they can only come on a day trip. So it's easy to talk like me, but the crowds are, you know, enough is enough. It's just everything in life is a matter of degree. You know, you want the balance, right? You want that's true for everything. You want the right balance. And Venice, the Vatican Museum, the Vatican City, I mean, if you have to wait 3 hours, 4 hours to do something, you know, you're in Disney, you know, the old Disneyland, then they start selling tickets and scalping and all this. So the new thing in Venice is to charge admission for the first time, I think, for a city, to charge admission to enter, like $5, say. And if that's ethical, but to come into St. Mark's Square with a bag lunch and spend not a penny, you know, it's very, so you just have to control it. But the greed of the Venetians, especially after 2 years of a pandemic, they want to bring them in, don't charge them anything.
Right.
You know, the shopkeepers, and they want them there.
Yeah.
But eventually, you know, you're going to harm the huge cruise ships used to come into Venice, the Grand Canal.
Right.
If you ever seen such a sight, these old medieval towers and this giant, it looks like the most humongous dinosaur comes lumbering through the Grand Canal.
Yeah.
So they finally stopped that, but they're still fighting about that.
Well, hopefully it'll stay stopped, because from my understanding, you're obviously expert in this, but there was so much pollution that now that's kind of abated, and you get like dolphins and stuff coming back, and the water's just much higher quality. Is that a correct statement?
Yeah. I don't know the level of pollution in the. Shouldn't they go electric in the ports?
I don't know. That's why they could, but I don't think most giant cruise ships are electric.
Imagine pushing that thing with an electric motor.
So, no, but that's a great question, Glenn, because over tourism is a real thing, and it really kind of prevents you from wanting to go. I know, like, it wouldn't be my first trip because I don't want to go to a place that feels like that's not my gig. But I want to kind of go back to the business, if I can, Glenn, if I can ask this question.
Yeah, go for it.
Growing up, your father's on TV. Everybody knows Perillo, and it looks great, and you're the luckiest kid in the world, and your father, everything's great, and it's all Sundays. But you see the business, you see the ups and downs of the business, you see, I would imagine, the challenges your dad went through and your family went through. So when it was your time to get involved in the business, maybe you're in high school and you're kind of worked through, like, what was your trajectory? Were you saying, yeah, I want to be in this business, or were you seeing so much of it that you're like, I want to go do something else?
No, I went to music school, classical music school, and I'm a composer and a pianist. I have a bunch of CDs, but I don't promote them. I should. But I've been doing this since I was a child. We used to go to the Bronx on the weekends and stuff envelopes with a rapidograph machine. I'll have to tell you about this machine, rapidograph.
Never heard of that.
But did you want to get into the business?
Yeah, it took me till about 23 years old before I was really invested in it totally. And my picture was, I'm a baby boomer, right?
Right.
You're a baby, no, you guys are younger. I'm 67. I'm a baby boomer.
Wow, you look good. I'm 50.
Yeah.
You look. I thought you.
Yeah, I thought you were in our category over here.
I color this, but I don't have to color this yet. I will. What was I saying?
So you're saying you're a baby boomer?
Oh, so I was a baby boomer. I was going to say in my time, in what would it be? I was 25, 35, 45. In 30 years, we're going to have such a bonanza of travel with these baby boomers because they're the biggest generation. And here we are. And it didn't quite happen the way we thought it was because we didn't see the internet coming.
Right.
The internet changed the world to a degree. We all thought it was going to be a big deal, but it was a bigger deal than it ruined so many lives and helped so many lives. It just what it did, it was splintered the entire industry into, like 20 tour operators, 20,000 travel agents.
Right.
It's just like thousands and thousands of opportunities to sell travel and sell travel directly. And that's really what changed. Hotels sold directly, airlines sold directly, and the travel agents were the first to get the hit on this. Tour operators are next. Anyone who's a middleman, who's not a real owner of airlines or hotels, anyone who's selling and supporting, they can be superseded online by anyone at any time.
Yeah, absolutely. But the problem, I think, and Anthony, I'd be curious to see if you have this same opinion, is a lot of the travel agents that lost their ability to earn an income back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I don't think they were the ones that were offering a lot of value. They were kind of the order takers. They were the ones, and for you younger folks out there, you used to have to pretty much go to a travel agent to get an airplane ticket, right? So once they stopped having to do those basic things, a lot of them weren't able to reinvent themselves in a place like your family has always been, in having an incredible amount of on-site knowledge that really helps a person's overall experience, as opposed to just books them a ticket.
Yeah, we offer more. We're not just a middleman. We have to buy a lot of currency. We have to talk about currency real fast.
Please.
Because the exchange rate's fantastic.
Oh my God, it's like it's almost even right now, which is unheard of.
Yeah, you can buy €1 for $1.02.
Yep.
Which is, it's like 1999 levels. Unbelievable. Why am I forgetting?
Yeah, because you were talking about the levels of between the dollars, probably making it more of a better value right now to go. Italy's, I guess. Mm-hmm.
So what is going on with the currency right now?
What's that?
I said, what is going on with the currency? When you say you have to buy currency,
there's a rush worldwide to the U.S. dollar for whenever there's havoc in the world. Thank God, so far, the world buys dollars, and when they buy dollars, the dollar value gets stronger, and they can buy other currencies cheaper.
Yep.
It used to cost us this year. It cost us $1.25 to buy €1, and now it's $1.02.
It's amazing.
So we're still a contender, this country.
So Steve, I don't believe that, because I thought Bitcoin was going to be the world currency.
How's that going for Venezuela? I'm curious.
Yeah, not so well. But it's fascinating, how long you guys have been around, and just like Perillo is just, it's part of our vocabulary. It's not even Perillo equals Italy equals tours. It's not even your last name anymore. It's like our word. We own that word now, right? As Americans. And as soon as somebody says Perillo, we know exactly what that means. What is it like now getting the best tour operators, getting the best team? I mean, are you finding the same challenges everybody else is finding, where it's a lot more difficult to find people that want? Because what you do, and the tour operators, I mean, it's hard. It's not easy. So how are you finding teams, and is it more difficult than it was 10 years ago?
As far as our expert personnel goes?
Yes.
Well, that's another pandemic lesson. The work from home thing changed our outlook on that. I still don't like it. I mean, I like it maybe 50% more than I did the work at home thing. Mm-hmm. But that work at home allows you to have the entire nation. We could have Italians selling our trips from Sicily. That's a low wage area that they speak English. So that's a huge opportunity. There should be no excuse for not having the best expertise. And we do, this is part of the genius of my grandfather and my father, because the grand advertising, and not only gets you customers, but it gets you, when you call a hotel executive, they know who you are. When you talk to anyone, they know who you are, and you have an entree to so many things that notoriety is just priceless. You have one hit song, and you can have a monster. What is it? Margaritaville, one Margaritaville in your entire career, and that's notoriety. So it goes a long. Here's an example, Anthony. I had not heard of Hotel Impossible. That would be my favorite show. I'm going to buy the show now. Why didn't I hear about it?
I don't know.
I'm in the travel business. You should have been in Travel Weekly or something. I should have been.
we were on TV for 9 years, and we were everywhere. I mean, we were pretty. It was a pretty good show, pretty big show. But what happened was I'll tell you the kind of inside baseball. When we got picked up, we created the show. We got picked up from Travel Channel. Travel Channel was owned by Scripps. Scripps put us on Food Network, HGTV, and DIY, and got us a lot of recognition. But then they put us back in our home with Travel Channel. Well, Travel Channel is not as big as Food Network, so we had a big audience, but we had a very specific audience. And so what's great about the show is my fans are like crazy. So maybe they're not all looking at the Food Network and they look at 27 shows, but when they came to Travel Channel, they only came for one reason. That was to look at travel. That was to look at Hotel Impossible. So our audience are pretty intense fans, and they're demanding that we bring the show back. So we'll see. But yeah, so we've been on for a long time. We've traveled the world. We've done 3 shows: Extreme Hotels, 5-Star Secrets. But there is 5-Star Secrets. Is we need this show to bring back the sexiness of hospitality. I would like you to go. I can send you, once I get your email stuff, I can send you the links to all the shows. But if you just go to Discovery Plus, which I'm sure you have, all my shows, 5-Star Secrets, Extreme Hotels, Hotel, is all there. And I think you'll really get a kick of Extreme Hotels and 5-Star Secrets. And so we're going to bring that back because we need it. We need to entice people back into the hospitality industry to show how sexy it is.
No, I don't have Discovery Plus. See, I don't know what to buy. I don't know what to buy. I'm getting tired of Netflix. I don't know what to.
That's the grandkids.
Netflix. I have stock in Netflix. Please don't. do not cancel your subscription.
Yeah.
But, I will say, if I get your email, I'll send you.
It's there. It's behind. It's in the private chat box. Yeah.
I like the show about Alaska, and you're stuck out in Alaska, and you got to survive. Those are the shows. Anyway.
I've got a question that I have to ask you before we get going. What percentage of your travelers go to Pisa and feel compelled to take one of these pictures, where people are pretending to hold it up?
I had never seen that as a child. I don't know when that was invented. I think that was invented in the 70s, in the 80s or something.
I have no idea, but it's
everyone does it. I love, and there's a lot of variations. There's a million variations.
I know, it's pretty funny. And then, of course, the little tiny Louvre that everyone else does as well in France. That's too funny. So, Anthony, any final questions before we let Mr. Perillo go?
Yeah, what is the next thing? Like, so I'm sure you guys are trotting out the next 2, 3, 5 years. What are you most excited about?
I'm also excited about technology. As far as new destinations, new ways of doing destinations, I'm racking my brain to think of but new ways of booking travel, especially complicated travel.
Yeah.
So I got a patent. I got my first.
Ooh.
Actually, guys, it's easier to get a U.S. patent than you think. If you have an idea, you can get one.
Don't tell people that. Let us be amazed. Yeah.
What's the idea? I want to know.
It's called the Italy Travel Planner. It's on our website, italyvacations.com, our Italy website, italyvacations.com.
Mm-hmm.
The travel planner is there, and you can book a complex trip to Italy. This is our first country that we're doing. And the main feature, it has a library of 25 trips that are expertly created. So you pick the date of the trip you want to take, and then you can go in and edit it. You could take days away, hotels, add, subtract, and you can do a professional level itinerary in 20 minutes. Anyone can do it. I mean, it's only 5 years old, the program, but we're rolling out with travel agents right now, and that kind of thing. Otherwise, I want to talk to you, Anthony, about buying hotels in a new way that you could help me. Maybe I'm thinking of buying blocks of rooms for long periods of time and taking the risk over from the hotel. Like no one, I haven't heard of anyone doing that.
Well, we did it back in the day. We owned a hotel, or the owners I worked for back in the day, we owned the Carnegie Hotel. And we're going back to probably 25 years ago. And someone came to my office and said, hey, they're going to package the Carnegie Hotel to hotels.com. And I was like, are you crazy? They said, no, hotel.com. Andy, one of the founders of hotels.com, he's going to buy the hotel and he's going to sell it. And it worked until we realized we were giving away too much money, and they took it back. But so, and I've seen that happen before. So it doesn't happen often, but I'd be happy to talk to you. And again, if I can get there's an email, but if I can get your cell or your office number, that'd be great. And I'll give you a call today or tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to you. And we're working with a company. I haven't even talked this to Glenn yet, but I'll tell him off there. We're working with an organization that is really excited about bringing our show back, 5-Star Secret. So there's something here. So let's keep the conversation going. Do you have if I can ask, are there any family members kind of working with you now? Any?
Yeah, we're going for our 4th generation. I didn't succeed in. I got very close to marrying 3 times, but it didn't. I'm so happy it didn't work out. So I have my nephew, Devin, our 4th generation. He's 25, and we're going to take a chance that we can go into the 4th generation. It's so hard to go to a 3rd generation in the company. So
yeah, usually the 3rd generation screws it up. So congratulations on not doing that.
My experience is right. The first builds it, the second spends the money, and the 3rd destroys it. But if you can make it to the 3rd, what I've heard and to different people, the 4th usually takes it to the next level. So, but you have to get through you.
Yeah.
You didn't screw it up. He'll make it better.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get a villa in Tuscany. Get my villa in Tuscany, and I'll see you later.
I like
that. We need a couple more commercials from you.
Yeah. How about this? From when he was a little bit younger.
Hi, I'm Steve Perillo of Perillo Tours. And for 3 generations, we've offered escorted and customized tours to Italy for millions of vacationers.
TV doesn't do the Sistine Chapel justice. You have to see it in person.
My favorite place was probably Florence.
With Perillo, we went to the front of the lines. There was no waiting. Best vacation ever.
And while you're here, take an Italian cooking class. You'll have the time of your life.
It was an experience of a lifetime. From Rome, we went to Sorrento, then Naples, and Pompeii was spectacular. I'm dying to go back, Jay.
Oh, yes. Take me with you.
Okay.
I personally approve every hotel, every attraction, every meal, long before you leave home. And that's the Perillo promise.
Call now for your free brochure. Call in the next 30 minutes and get this free $100 gift card. And don't forget to ask about our Hawaii tours. Call 800-431-1515, 800-431-1515, 800-431.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a producer and creator of television for the last now 12 years, I'm gonna give you a note, right? A good note. Your dad did a great job, but as a producer, I can tell he was reading the teleprompter a little bit, but you wouldn't know it because, like, I never knew it until now. Because when I was growing up, I never realized that. Whether you were or weren't, I couldn't tell. You were very natural. You look. I don't know if you were reading it, but if you weren't, amazing, and if you were, amazing.
I can't remember. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't.
But you look very comfortable.
And you do them in little sections.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you just have to remember one line.
Can you imagine being on Broadway every night and you got to do a 15-minute soliloquy? Could you imagine?
Yeah, we in the beginning we used to do my green screen where people would yell, producer would yell the words, and I would say it. And about the 4th season, I went to the owner of the production company, a good friend of mine, and I was like, if you don't give me a teleprompter, every producer is going to quit, because a lot of them started quitting because I get very intense. It's like in my reading, the green screen reading was pages and pages long because I would do several shows in a sitting. And they finally gave me a teleprompter, and he said, it's going to look like you're reading a teleprompter. I'm not giving you one. Finally, I demanded it, and I will give you $1 million if you can tell I'm reading a teleprompter. Yeah. I worked so hard on not reading it because I didn't want it to be taken away from me.
It's so stressful without a teleprompter. It's so stressful to memorize, and then they tell you to do it again and again and again. Do it again, but why? What do you want me to do this time? Right. Just do it again, Steve. Just do. You know that you've been through that a million times.
When you're ready to do it, I have the best production company there is. So,
and I want to, Luca. I want to be in touch with Luca in Rome too.
Oh, okay. I will make sure. Matter of fact, I texted him as I'm talking to you, and he texted me back. So I will put you guys in touch with each other.
Awesome. Well, let's wrap this up. And hey, Steve, if you want to hang out backstage for a minute while we wrap up,
he says he's related to you. He says he said he's related to you.
Is it like Indian guys where everyone's cousins, or is this actually?
I don't know. I gotta get you guys together.
All
I
right.
don't believe it.
All right, Steve, thanks so much for being here. Just hang out with us for 1 sec backstage, and we'll get to you. Thank you so much, Steve Perillo,
Pleasure.
everyone. That was a whole lot of fun. All right, everybody, remember, if you're listening to us on audio, watch us on video. If you're listening on video, why not download the audio? We're available on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, wherever you get your shows. We are there. Don't forget, he's at Anthony Hotels. I'm at Traveling Glenn. Anthony, we were talking about Broadway. I just want to announce I'm going to be doing a one-man show on Broadway this December, acting as if I'm Patrick Stewart, doing a one-man show. So come and see that. That'll be really exciting.
That's what we do.
Yeah, I'm really amusing myself right now. It's a Christmas Carol, Anthony. That's what I was looking for.
The agony of defeat with the guy.
That was really good. That's another image I grew up in my childhood, with the guy going down the ski slope and falling and then tumbling down the mountain.
Right. So usually you wait till they go off the ski slope and they fall on the landing. Like, he came off really good, so you came off really good. I'm going to be on Broadway, and before you even took off, you just crashed.
That's pretty much my Broadway career there, everybody. So what are you going to do? Art is life. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you another time. Remember, until then, you've got one life, and so blaze on.
Be kind to yourself.
All right, see you all tomorrow.